Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Respect and Pray Show with yours truly, Miguel Mike Medina, Triple M. On this episode, I have a guy that is very driven. He is absolutely killing it in the journalism world. He's not even in his 30s yet, but he's just doing so much with his career as a sports broadcaster. And I can't wait to show you guys about where did it all started and where he is right now. So stay tuned because this is going to be a good interview. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to present to you our sports broadcaster, Ian Sachs. Ian, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me once again. I know that we spoke last year, and I always enjoy talking to you, and should be a good one today.
Yes, it certainly will. So I gotta start from the top. What inspired you or what motivated you to become a sports broadcaster and wanted to get in the business of sports?
That's a great question. I always knew that I wanted to get into sports ever since I was a little kid, and kind of took different routes of where I wanted to go. I knew I wasn't going to be playing professionally. My playing career was fun as a little kid, but not one that you really tell about too much. So I started thinking about other ways to get involved and to stay involved in sports. And I initially wanted to become more of like a work in the sports PR side as maybe a sports information director at a college, and did that all throughout college. And it was there that I really discovered what it's like to be a sports reporter. I got to know a lot of the local reporters covering Iona College, which is where I went, and that really sparked me to follow this path. And so I pursued it and started announcing games and putting together post-game video recaps, and just have an absolute blast doing it.
And speaking of announcing games, how was it like to cover your first play-by-play game that you can remember? How was that like?
I definitely remember that. That was, I would say, a frightening experience for me. I was a freshman in college. I had an opportunity to call one of the women's basketball games, and usually that opportunity is reserved for either employees of the college, or maybe if students got the chance, it'd be like a junior or senior. But the opportunity opened up for one of the games, and I was right there and slid right in. And I still remember, the day or two leading up to it, just spending the entire day prepping for it. And while it's great to prep for a game, and you absolutely need to do that, I think I might have overdone it a little bit. And even the day of the game, just trying to go through my notes and re-go through it and go through them a third time and a fourth time and a fifth time, and trying to find all these little nuggets that I could poke in there. And then, maybe an hour or two before the game, I was very nervous. I had butterflies all going through my stomach. And finally, the game happened, and it went by in what seemed like 10 minutes. It seemed like the ball went up, and then I blinked, and there was 2 minutes left in the game, and we were talking about late game situations, and it was exhilarating. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, but I also knew that there was a lot that I needed to work on. And so I looked back at that broadcast and started honing my skills. And then the next opportunity I got was about a year and a half later. Then I really started to announce games on a much more regular basis, and really started to hone my craft a lot. And yeah, I have to give props to the job at the Iona College athletics department does, and especially the sports information department with putting together so many great broadcasts, and especially seeing the switch from just streaming the games on the website to now they have a fully running ESPN3, ESPN Plus production truck, and all their broadcasts are streamed on ESPN Plus, and that to be able to say that you're a part of that, that puts a smile on my face any day of the week.
Yeah, that's a huge plus. Seeing that you have games that are ESPN Plus that you're part of, and ESPN, is the gold standard of sports. But what's the most memorable game that you've ever covered that you can think of?
I've been fortunate enough to cover a couple of championship games. For Iona, was play-by-play for the first MAC championship in women's basketball. That was 2016. So I did the radio call for Iona over Quinnipiac at the MAC tournament, and then was also on the radio call for the first ever NCAA tournament game in Iona women's basketball history, just about 10 days later when the team traveled down to Maryland and played the Terrapins. So that period there, I was a play-by-play the entire season for the Iona women's basketball team, and just to see that team from the first game of the year at Stony Brook to all the way to the MAC championship and the NCAA tournament, and to be able to be on that ride with the team. And I still remember my call of as the final buzzer sounded in the MAC championship, and having so much emotion in my voice and trying to hold back tears myself of saying, and the Iona Gales are your 2016 MAC champions. It still gets me choked up now, even getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
Wow, I can only imagine because you and your family are Iona fans, so the fact that you were able to witness that's just something incredible to witness. Toughest interview you've ever done?
Toughest interview I've ever done. I think it would have to be the first time that I checked out a camera from Iona. I was a student journalist. I think it was my junior year. I got tasked with doing a post-game recap of the women's soccer game on like a Sunday afternoon. And so I was nervous as it was, because I'm a 19, 20-year-old, first time ever going out, really covering a game by myself. I did the camera by myself. I was one-man banding the entire day, and super nervous about all the job that I had to do, making sure that I had enough battery power to get through the game and the post-game interviews, and taping my report on the field as well. And I interviewed the coach. I only lost 2-1. They gave up a goal with just a few minutes left in the game, what ended up being the game winner. And so I interviewed the coach, and you could tell that she was disappointed with the loss. It was a tough one to swallow for the Gales, for sure. Finished up the interview, said thank you to her, and as she's starting to walk away, I realized that I wasn't recording. So I had to, run after her a few feet and say, "Hi, Coach. Sorry to bother you, but I wasn't recording. Would we be able to do it again?" And fortunately, she was gracious enough and said, "Yeah, no problem." But that was one of the toughest interviews, of having to ask her the same tough questions, go through that tough emotional loss again with her. And fortunately, that time, the second time, I was recording, and I was able to put my package together. But it was, I still remember that is a definite lesson that I learned that day, that no matter what you're doing, make sure that you're recording when you're doing an interview.
The Rock or Stone Cold?
Who do I like more, or who's a better wrestler?
Better wrestler.
Stone Cold.
North Carolina or Duke?
North Carolina, easily.
Better story, 2019 Nationals or 2021 Braves?
2019 Nationals, because they were in the playoffs for so many years, then finally break through.
Wayne Gretzky or Mario Lemieux?
Wayne Gretzky. He's the greatest hockey player of all time. If you take away his all of his goals, he still leads the NHL all time in points. That's just Wayne Gretzky, no doubt.
So you're currently attending Arizona State University, and for your master's, you're studying sports journalism. Tell us, how's the experience like at ASU?
It's been a lot of fun. One thing that, two things that really drew me to Arizona State were the name of the Walter Cronkite School for Journalism and Mass Communication. When you have the name Walter Cronkite right there, I mean, he's, the gold standard, one of the pillars of journalism. And just the program itself, it stands out as one of the 2 or 3 programs in the entire country. And then also the weather, originally from New York, and the opportunity to move to sunny Arizona for graduate school definitely appealed to me for sure. And whenever I talk to my family back home, and they say it's 30 degrees here, and I say, it's 70 here, and I'm wearing a t-shirt and shorts in the middle of January. It's a lot of fun. But the connections that I've made, the friends that I've made here, just toning and refining my skills as well. I came in with a lot of experience, but I have had so many more experiences here, and just to refine those skills that I learned as an undergrad, but needed to brush up on and excel upon, have absolutely made the year that I've been here worth it so far, and just a couple of months away from graduation. So looking forward to it for sure.
Oh man, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Very good. So any advice that you have for anyone that wants to get into the business?
The biggest advice that I have, I would say, is just take advantage of every single opportunity. The more that you can do, the better. The more you put into something, the more you're going to get out of it. Yeah, you can go to your classes, do the work, pass, and yeah, you'll get a degree, you'll keep your job, whatever. But if you show that extra effort to put in the time, the extra work to get further, you'll better yourself, you'll better your opportunities, and it's amazing where you can go by just putting in the time and the effort, and showing that willingness to both learn and to try to improve and to try to help everyone else's job and life become a little easier. That's the best thing that you can do, and it certainly shows, and it'll certainly pay off in the long run as well.
Ian, thank you so much for joining me today. I salute you and everything that you're doing, and much success to you, man.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me once again.
Series between AL East foes as the Yankees play host to the Baltimore Orioles. While the nearly record-setting day outside this three-point line will draw the headlines, what impressed Coach Turner Thorne the most? the battle inside. 17 offensive rebounds for the Sun Devils, leading to 20 second chance points. That means it's daytime here in New Rochelle. Now, typically that wouldn't mean much for any old team, but for the Gales, it does mean something special. Iona is 0-6 this season in games played during the day. For this senior class, it's been their mission ever since freshman year to go out by adding one more trophy to this case. These changes aren't the first time that the home of the Suns and the Mercury are leading the environmental charge. Back in 2012, the downtown arena transitioned to solar power, making it one of the first of its kind to do so. 7 players in double figures, 13 as the high man, and you put 87 points on the board. What does that speak to about the balance on this team? For the sports med students here at Seton, it's lessons both inside and out of the classroom, one strip of tape at a time. Tonight on the mound, it will be another debut right here in the Bronx as 23-year-old top prospect Luis Heel will be making his first major league start. Hours before kickoff, the athletic training room is one of the busiest places on Seton Catholic's campus in Chandler. Nearly every member of the football team shuffles through to get taped or to receive other types of treatment from athletic trainer Brianna Saltzman. She stressed how being at the school full-time enables her to keep the players healthy.
Because I'm here full-time and I have a relationship with a lot of these athletes, they just come up to me like, hey, something happened, didn't feel right, not sure if it's a big deal or not, or if it's just like a fluke thing.
But the players aren't the only students in the athletic training room. Members of the school's sports medicine class that is taught by Saltzman assist her in providing the care.
It's kind of cool that the kids get to, get to learn that in school, and a lot of them end up helping in the athletic training room. So it's a great real-world experience.
For some students, the class is a first step toward a career in athletic training, physical therapy, or even nursing.
It has made me feel a lot more prepared for nursing, just because now I know like parts of the body and how to like treat people, and even though it's like specific for sports medicine, I feel like it definitely applies to like the entire like healthcare and medical field.
It's just an overall great foundation. I got to learn about like all the bones, like different ligaments and tendons and muscles and a whole bunch of different injuries.
For the sports med students here at Seton, it's lessons both inside and out of the classroom, one strip of tape at a time.
Before I took this class, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and then she kind of showed me, hey, this is another direction you can take.
That was senior Cameron Benvin speaking about Saltzman, who is in her second year at Seton. Benvin remembers the moment she realized she wanted to be an athletic trainer, just like her teacher.
One of the varsity players was just on the field, and she kind of ran straight to him, and she has this great relationship with like every athlete. She makes, sure that they're all right, that they have fun, but also that they're safe. And it just kind of helped me realize I want to build those relationships.
Have you learned yet the arts and crafts?
Saltzman said she enjoys those relationships she has built with the students, both the athletes and those in her class. However, it comes at a price. She estimates she works about 60 hours a week between teaching, games, and practices. While Saltzman noted the potential for burnout, the opportunity to help the student athletes makes those long hours worth it.
Just being present. There's been a lot of instances where these kids have said that they haven't had someone be present, whether it be at school events, club events. So to know that there's someone always on their sidelines for them is really nice, and that's kind of helped us build the relationships.
Thank you so much.
At Seton Catholic, the athletic training room has transformed from a place just for tapings and treatment into a safe haven for students and athletes to develop strong bonds and learn professional skills. In Chandler, Ian Sachs, Cronkite News.
Are you holding each other accountable to do it the best you can do?
Seton Catholic coach James Johnson gets his team set for the upcoming playoffs. Following a loss in the state semifinals a year ago, The Sentinels approach this postseason with lofty goals.
We have really high expectations for ourselves, but looking into the season last year, it doesn't have any effect on us. This is a completely new team.
11 of the 14 players on this year's team are seniors. They understand the weight of the opportunity in front of them in their final high school matches.
These seniors know the expectations, and they're excited for that challenge. They think about it. They owe it to the other girls to step up and play hard, and they're going to give their best effort, and that's all we can ask of them.
For this senior class, it's been their mission ever since freshman year to go out by adding one more trophy to this case.
We've all had it set in our minds since freshman year. We're going to be that team. We saw 12 seniors graduate our freshman year. We were like, we're going to be just like them, and they made it super far as well. So I think we're just trying to hold the legacy up.
The Sentinels won the Region 4A Desert Sky Championship for a 6th straight season. They head into the postseason on a high note by winning their last 3 matches.
It motivates us to play that well because we played really well throughout these the past 3 games. So I think if we carry that over, it really gives us the confidence to play that well against whoever we play on Thursday.
Seton Catholic is seeded 5th in 4A. It welcomes the 12-seed Cactus to McMahon Gym on Thursday. In Channel, Ian Sachs, Cronkite News.
That does it for this episode of the Respect and Pray Show. Stay tuned for next week because we have more exciting guests coming to the show. And always remember, have mutual respect, mutual love, and mutual admiration. So, until next time.